Thank you very much, Mr. President. Our other guest is Mr. Robert. Robert, would you greet us? And then we can give an opportunity to Ron Daniels.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Robert.
Yeah. Good evening, fellow Rotarians. I'm Robert Muir from the Rotary Club of Stork Valley, District 1240. I'm also the trustee of Build Aid, who is the participating NGO in our joint venture. So I've been to Kenya a few times, and I'm looking forward to getting back as soon as I can, once COVID allows. And looking forward to working together with the clubs and the communities.
Wow, thank you so much, Robert. Ron, your turn now.
So I'm Ron Daniels. I'm the foundation chair for District 1145, which is a district that runs from the southern outskirts of London down to the south coast. We have about 96 clubs in the district and something in the region of 2,600 Rotarians. My club is the Rotary Club of Cheam and Sutton, which is in one of the London boroughs. So we're right on the southern outskirts of Greater London. I'm particularly interested that, well, I know a number of the people in your club. I know Bonnie Mbithi quite well. We've had a lot of discussions with him. I'm particularly interested to hear Cornelius speak this evening because it's a name I know, but it's not a face that I can put to the name, but I can now, which is really really good news. As I say, as I said before, I'm particularly interested in sand dams, and my district has supported a lot of sand dam activity in Kenya, and will be supporting 2 upcoming global grants. And also my district is leading on setting up an international country committee between Kenya and Great Britain. And I'm going to be one of the people on the committee that will be coordinating that. So
Thank you very much, Ron. Ron and Robert, we are really looking forward to building this partnership and just changing lives for the communities in our countries. It's now time to listen to our speaker.
No, just a minute before we do that, I would like to kindly invite Rotarian Bon Mbithi to say 1 or 2 words as I prepare the document. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Prezo. So Bon Mbithi is my name from the Rotary Club of Syokimau, a great friend of the Rotary Club of Embakasi. We even donated our member to become your charter president, and I've interacted with a couple of you. So I have nothing much to say. I'm just looking forward to see the presentation from Cornelius. This is something that we are very passionate about, and we want the Rotary Club of Embakasi to be our implementing partner in this. So thank you, and I'm looking forward to the presentation.
Thank you very much, and welcome, Rotarian Bonnie. Your donation has served us well. We are very, very proud of his leadership. Yeah, so we are very thankful. Shall we go ahead now, Mr. President, with the speaker?
Just give me half a minute or less. I think I have it here. I don't know why it's acting up. I'll try and just skim it through because I think the way it was presented is not what I anticipated, but that's fine. Friends and family of Rotary, today we are honored to have Mr. Cornelius Mbithi, Executive Director of African Sand Dams Foundation, who is our guest speaker today. I'll just say a short thing about his professional training and short courses. Mr. Cornelius Charlo, Mr. Cornelius Charlo has a certificate in WASH in emergencies from German WASH Network, WASH in Enterprises, Regional Workshops, Africa 2020. He has a certificate in Community Managed Disaster Risk Reduction from the International Institute of Rural Reconstruction Africa Regional Center. He also has a certificate in Project Management Essentials for the Unofficial Project Manager Reza Resource, as well as a certificate in Disaster Risk Reduction from the International Institute of Rural Reconstruction Africa, as well as Climate Change Adaptation in Food and Security and Natural Resource Management from Wageningen Center for Development Innovation from through Makerere University, Uganda, as well as a certificate in the Lean Six Sigma Yellow Belt from the Kenya Institute of Management and Institute for Six Sigma Professionals in Nairobi, Kenya. He has a lot of extensive professional certifications in several other fields, such as practical financial management for NGOs, conflict resolution, leadership development skills from international, as well as how to write budgets that win funds. Mr. Cornelius has been Executive Director of African Sundown Foundation from September 2010 to date, and he has overseen the construction of up to around 500 dams within the counties of Machakos, Kitui, and Makueni. We have, as a club, been very privileged to have him work and partner with us, and for this reason, we have invited him to talk to us this evening. And family and friends of Rotary, please join me in welcoming Mr. Cornelius Charlo Madheka. Good evening, Charlo.
So good evening to you all.
Good evening, Cornelius.
Yeah, and thank you for the invitation to get to speak to you, Rotarians. So I'll request for someone to allow me to share my screen.
Arispa, make him host.
I think you're now able to share. You're now enabled to share.
Okay. You can see my screen?
Not yet.
No, he's still not host. Just enable him. Just click on his profile and oh yeah, there we are. It's coming now. Thank you.
Okay, great.
So I have a few slides that I'm going to go through. Then after the slides, if there are any questions, you can raise the questions. Then we can get to discuss the issues that are going to arise from the presentation. So I'll just go straight into the presentation. And thank you, Ernest, for the great introduction.
Thank you.
So Africa Sundown Foundation was founded in 2010. So, and they legally registered to operate in Kenya as an NGO. We are based in Mutitwandei, that is where we operate from. So we operate in quite a big area, the 3 counties of Southeast Kenya, that is Machakos, Makueni, and Kitui. The current staff numbers are 52. So the organization vision is that soil and water conservation in drylands enables millions of rural communities to transform their own life. And this is basically from the challenges that rural communities face in the drylands. One of the greatest challenges that farmers, all the inhabitants of the drylands face is water scarcity, and in addition, we have the challenges to do with the degradation, and especially where the land has not been taken care of. So once we look at soil and water conservation in the drylands, then you find that communities are empowered, or they are given the opportunity to transform their own lives. So how does the Africa Santam Foundation work with communities? So the strategy of intervention is that, if we look at the notes below, the main actors are several groups who are already registered or organized as several groups. And we work with the communities for a period of 5 years. So once we engage with communities as an organization, we make a journey with them for a period of 5 years. Then the approach is a community-led development, which is based on human rights approach, human development, and capacity approaches. And then when you look at what we are trying to address, we're trying to address access to water through a number of projects that are the dams, school water tanks, rock catchments. Then we are addressing issues to do with natural resources management, food production, and then access to markets. But when you address the first two, which are more concerned about the environment and the environment being able to provide its services, then you're enabling farmers or communities in the drylands to be able to transform their own lives. So still a continuation from that slide, it's a community engagement and ownership, where we believe in that development has to come from the communities themselves. They know the challenges that they face. They know all about their own areas of habitat. So when we work with the communities, we ask the communities to work through the challenges that they face. And for us, we only come in to support the challenges that the communities face. So when it comes to the challenge of water, it is the communities building their own dams and managing their own dams so that they can own them. We only come in with a very small support so that the communities can keep going. So the context of our work, we work in dryland environments, as it can be depicted from the pictures, which are characterized by extreme temperatures and rainfall variability. When it rains, the runoff runs off very fast into the Indian Ocean, and the river channels where this water flows through are left dry in a few weeks. Then communities have to work hard so that they can collect water. So issues to do with water scarcity. And then the other issue is around the degraded lands in the drylands. So SDF project activities with rural communities. So what are the key issues that we work with the communities that we work with? One is to carry out rainwater harvesting and storage through the construction of sandals, roof catchments, and rock catchments. Then once we have the water, the next level is water abstraction from the dams through shallow wells, and also solar distribution or solar powered water distribution systems. Then for the sanitation and hygiene, or to ensure that farmers have access to clean water, we carry out sanitation and hygiene promotion trainings, and as well carry out water quality analysis to understand the quality of water that we are enabling the communities to have access to. So we work with communities to enable crop production through the growing of drought-tolerant food crops, fruit trees, growing, seed bulking, horticultural farming, and the establishment of crop demonstration plots. We also work with the communities to enable environmental, soil and water conservation through terracing, tree planting, energy saving stoves, and trainings. Then we support livestock production activities, and especially around pasture and breeding program. In the drylands, pasture is a challenge for the farmers. Then the other activity that we carry out with communities is the community skills and knowledge strengthening through peer-to-peer learning and trainings. Then the support of the communities to engage in income generating activities, which may arise from water sales, vegetable farming, or they have table banking initiatives, livestock sales, and soap making. Soap making is part of our sanitation and hygiene training. So it enables the communities to kickstart those small income generating opportunities with their neighbors. Then the next slides are just slides to show the projects that we carry out with the communities. So we have the sand dams. The one on the right, where we have the sand, that's when we say a dam is fully mature, when it is fully covered with the sand. That enables the filtration of water. And we say that below a meter within the sand, there is virtually zero evaporation. So you are creating an aquifer below sand that enables you to abstract the water. The one on the left is just a dam that is freshly built, and that is how it would look like, just a pool of water. So in schools, we do 190 cubic water storage tanks where we harvest water from the roofs, which are already existing. So we're just taking advantage of a resource that is already in place. Within the dams, we do abstraction wells to enable the communities to abstract the water from the sand. We have rock catchments. So these are storage tanks which are built to take advantage of the massive rocks that are exposed, just like the roofs that we have within our houses. These rock surfaces, wherever they exist, they generate a lot of runoff water. So we gather the water and enable the communities to store the water within storage tanks. These tanks are 190 cubic, so the two of those would comprise 380 cubic. For the environmental conservation, we support farmers to terrace their own farmlands, and especially through tools and the technical skills on how to lay the terraces. So we work with communities around the environmental conservation where we plant multi-purpose trees, and basically the trees address the challenges that the farmers face, fruits for food, trees for firewood, trees for timber, among other uses at the household level. So once we give communities water, or we enable communities have access to water, we can see the transformation that comes with the water. So behind there is a dam. You can see what's happening around that dam. When you look behind these farmers, there's a dam around that point. Again, the opportunities that arise when farmers have access to water in the drylands. This is French bean farming in Boni East, where we supported the community to build a dam. So they're using the water to irrigate. And this community generates close to 1 million Kenya shillings in a year from farming. So the other bit is to support communities to grow crops that do well in the environment that they are in, and especially the drought-tolerant food crops. Then the sanitation and hygiene training, it doesn't need to be complicated. Make it simple for the farmers so that they can adopt. So working with the farmers on the left, working with schools on the right. We also support communities with the livestock projects or to initiate livestock projects. Basically, we look at improving what is already there. How do we improve the already existing livestock breeds to better producing breeds that can fetch the farmers more money, or they can produce more milk. This is the Gala Goats project. Then why sand dams? When you look at the sand dams project, you address a number of issues. Once we have implemented the sand dams, we address a number of issues together with the farmers that we work with. So there is the issues to combat desertification at the large scale, climate change adaptation, the conservation of biodiversity. When we build dams, soon, or in a few rain seasons, new vegetation or the original vegetation start to colonize the areas, and then you get back the land to what it used to be originally. Then conflict reduction and disaster resilience. Sundams for conflict resolution. This one is applicable in the pastoralist communities where people are fighting over water resources. So Sundams enable water for agriculture, water for livestock, water for supply, and self-supply for people. So addressing issues to do with water security, soil and water conservation, food security, integrated water resource management, and sustainable development. Then at a glance, together with the communities, we have enabled the construction of 502 Sundams. This is as of today, serving 887,000 people. The wells are connected to the Sundams, but the question may be, why are they less than the Sundams? This was one of the innovative solutions that we adopted later, as we had already started off with the program. And then they would be applicable not in 100% of the Sundams, but a number of them. Then we have the rainwater harvesting tanks, 214, and this has enabled 64,000 school-going children to have access to water. 13 rock catchments have already been implemented, and this has enabled this amount of water to be collected and stored. Currently, we are enabling distribution of water from Sundams, where we have enabled a sustainable water supply throughout the year. So we've already implemented 4 of these projects across the 3 counties in Southeast Kenya. Then the terraces and the trees to support environmental conservation. Out of the 502 Sundams, 34 have been built with the support of different Rotary clubs. So that is the SDF partnership family, where we have the Rotary clubs. Thank you very much. I would welcome any questions arising from the presentation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chalo, for your presentation. Very insightful. It is said that the wars of the future will be fought over water, not oil. So it is good to see this going on. And there are a few questions for you on the chat. I will read them out, and then you can answer them.
Yes.
There is Mr. Richard James Onions, and he has been involved in this project, over 70 of these projects in over 8 years. And his first question is, Chalo, could you tell us more about solar water distribution, energy saving stoves, and soap making? Did you get that?
Yes,
Chalo?
soap making, yeah, soap making and the energy stoves.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then there is another from Richard Ron Daniels about he's interested in the cost of a school water tank. So maybe you can take those at the same time.
So, thank you, Onion, for your question. So the solar water distribution, basically what we are doing is that, as I said, once we have built the Sundams and enabled a year-round water access, what we are doing is that we want to reach more beneficiaries by enabling the distribution of the water within communities. And what we are doing is the use of solar power or solar energy to install a pumping system that enables the water to be distributed from the point of collection or from the point of storage to reach a wider community. Then the energy stores. The energy stores are like part of our environmental conservation or natural resources management activities with the communities. Basically, what we are looking at is enabling farmers to use less energy as much as possible, resorting to a reduction in carbon emissions. Soap making. I've talked about our sanitation and hygiene program with the communities. So for communities to be or to promote the effective hand washing, which is key as we talk about sanitation and hygiene, and as we all understand in the current times that we are in, we support the communities to produce soap locally. This is just liquid soap that they make with the locally available materials so that they can use it for household hygiene, and then ensure that the families or the households can remain clean, and then also ensuring that there's access to soap that may not be really possible in the drylands where farmers have to deal with competing needs for income. Then when it comes to the cost of a school water tank, basically I'll just talk about the delivery of the hardware stuff. It is a 808,000 Kenya shillings. That is a 104 cubic water tank. So,
sorry, repeat that again.
So the cost of a school water tank, just talking about the delivery of that hardware bit, is 898,000 Kenya shillings. And what is delivered within that, we deliver the school water tank, and then we support the school in training on sanitation and hygiene. So it's a package when we talk about the 898. So you enable access to the water, and then you further support the school on the sanitation and hygiene training. Then what happens is that, again, the community-led development approach. The community together with the school have to put in place the local materials that are required for the construction of the tank so that they can own and maintain it.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you very much. There's a question from, yes, there's a question from Rashid Mwangi. Any regulatory challenges from the many government water regulators and environmental bodies? I see that sabotaging many noble initiatives. What are the challenges you're encountering with the local regulators?
I can say that the journey has not been easy, but we have finally managed to work closely with the government institutions to ensure that the projects are delivered within the legal structures that are set up by the government. The Sundance undergo environmental impact assessment. Then they also registered with the Water Resource Authority, previously WARMA.
Okay, great. Any other question, people? You can post it on the chat. I would now like to invite Mr. James Onions to say something to us before we move on to the next thing. We are coming to the close of our meeting.
Just before that, Cornelius, you can share back the rights of hosting to RISPA.
Yeah.
So
share your screen. Yeah.
Yes.
I would need to stop sharing.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's all right. Then you can see our speaker.
Yeah.
Please proceed.
James, please unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself, James.
Good point. Thank you. First of all, Charlo, it's really good to see you again. It's probably about 8 years since I came out, and we've done quite a few projects since then. And it's great to see ASDF going from strength to strength. great presentation, and I think we all learnt a lot. And yes, that last slide is very heartwarming. It reminds me of another one where there's an awful lot of children, and I think it said at the top by the time Simon had finished with it, and we used it in Rotary, Rotarians Give a Damn, which went down very well. But I think the work you do is really, really excellent. I'm hoping that we will build a new relationship together with Build Aid through Rotary Embakasi, and that will go on for many years in the future. We're keen to build an awful lot now. We're still working somewhat with Christine at Excellent and doing some that way, but the bulk of the money I think is going to come through Build Aid. So there'll be two relationships we're working with there. So hopefully we can build a stronger relationship based on that. I'm hoping that the sort of reports you do at the end for Christine, you might be able to share those with us on these dams as well. Is that going to be okay with you?
Yeah, that's going to be okay.
Okay, excellent. But no, it's a great job you're doing, and I think if Rotary Club of Embakasi can get really involved in this, there's so much scope. I'm aware that some of the local authorities are now coming to you and saying, yeah, we want to build some dams and we're going to finance a good number of them, but we want you to manage them for us. Is that just the one county, or is that spreading out?
Currently, it is a Makueni County that we have a good working relationship with, where their sand dams are now going through their sand authority, the one that is in charge of controlling the harvesting of sand.
Yep. Okay. So I think, you know, we're also very keen to get the message out to other local authorities, and I think Rotary can help do that.
Yeah.
There are people within Rotary, there are Rotaractors as well, and there's the University in Nairobi, all with lots of interest in water, and hopefully we can forge a partnership that can get these messages out.
Look forward to
anyway,
that.
Great to see you again, and great to see everyone in the club. Thank you.
Thank you very much, James. Yeah, your interaction has given us a bit more insight about the possibilities and what more we can do together. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us today. Don Paul, if you're ready.
Just a minute.
Okay.
Before Don comes in, let me also just, mine is not a question, but just generally a remark to both Cornelius, Rotarian James, and Rotarian Ron Daniels, and specifically to Rotarian James Onions. We are very, very excited, of course, to partner with you. And as Rotary Club of Embakasi, we are now doing all the necessary back-end paperwork so that we can formalize this relationship. With the great assistance of Rotarian Mbidi, we look forward to getting this up and running and definitely be of a great impact to the communities. So we are sincerely honored to have had you this evening, and it's a great surprise. I had not actually been alerted you'd be coming. So obviously I'm very honored to have you here. Thank you very much. Rispa?
Don Paul, please unmute yourself. Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, can hear you.
So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our guest speaker for sharing what he did tonight. It was nice listening to the passion that he has. He exudes a lot of confidence, which means he really knows what he's doing. He knows what he's talking about. It was nice hearing and also seeing the many lives that are being touched, because this is
Sorry, excuse me. Let me handle that. Sorry. This is who is this?
Najipanga.
Rashid.
It is very clear.
Okay, I'm trying to get him. Oh, Rashid.
Yeah.
Please mute yourself. He's muted. It's somebody else. I'm not sure who it is.
Yes, and
the nurses just walked in.
Just a minute.
Okay, it's done.
Thank you.
Okay.
yes, and also I've seen there's a lot of empowerment that is also going on, which is particularly very important, especially in such a time. And also I've seen women working, so that means there's also some empowerment happening for the women. And for that, and there's so many nuggets of wisdom that have been shared, I'd like to thank you very much.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you. We look forward to our partnership, Cornelius, as we go ahead with this.